Okay, before we get started, we're going to go back over the steps for solving for scale factor. Step one is determine your scale factor if it is not given to you. So that means they didn't give you the scale on a map, or they didn't just tell you that the scale factor is 1 centimeter for every 100 miles. If they didn't give that to you, they gave you something else, but they gave you a dimension of a model and they gave you a dimension of the actual object. You can take those two things and create your first ratio. So we're going to take those dimensions given to you and create your ratio of model over actual, and then we're just going to simplify that ratio, and that is what's going to give me my scale factor. That's going to be my first ratio. Step two is look at the other information in the problem. What did they give you? What are they asking you to solve for? A dimension of the model or the actual object? Then step three is to set up your proportion with your second ratio. Just make sure when you set it up, it is again model over actual equal to model over actual. Then we're going to do our baseball bat. We're going to cross multiply and divide. So that's your baseball bat and your ball. Next, we're just going to take a couple of these problems and we're just going to go through them so you can see them set up and then solved. So on a map, 1 inch equals 20 miles. Well, there's my very first ratio. So there's my 1 to 20. They gave me my scale factor. Two cities are 3 inches apart on the map. What is the actual distance between the cities? So they're asking for the actual distance. They gave me that they're 3 inches apart on the map. So because 3 is my scale model, I'm going to put 3 across from the model and then my x across from my 20, my actual, because that's what I'm solving for. So I'm going to cross multiply 20 and 3 and then divide by 1. And when I do that, 20 times 3, I should get 60. And that's right. The next question, what is the actual length of the truck? Well, I come and I look over here and I see that for every 1 inch, that is 1.1 feet. So the grid lines here, they are spaced 1 inches apart. So I'll just need to count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 boxes. That means there are 13 inches. So for every inch, it is going to be 1.1 feet. And since I'm solving for the actual length of the truck, my x goes across from the 1.1 and my 13 goes across from my 1 because that is my model. I'm going to multiply these two numbers, 1.1 and 13, and then I'm going to divide by 1. So I've got my 13 times 1.1 . And there's one number after the decimal up here, so I should have one number after the decimal there. So it should be 14.3. Let's see if that's it. And that's it. So, okay, this next one, you make a scale drawing of a banner for your school dance. You use a scale of 1 inch for every 2 feet. So what is the actual width of the banner? So again, here they gave me my scale, which is 1 to 2. They want to know the actual width of the banner. They told me that the banner on the model was 8 inches. So how tall is it or how wide is the actual one going to be. So I do my baseball bat, I multiply those, and I divide by 1. So 2 times 8 should be 16. And there it is again. So here they're just giving you your scale, and you're just going to be solving for that. The next thing that I want to look at though is I want to go back and I want to look at similar figures, similar shapes real quick. Look at the key concept. So the key concept here is corresponding parts. Similar shapes have corresponding parts. Corresponding parts are the matching parts in the two shapes. So again, they're matching parts, so that's either going to be your vertices or your side lengths. Naming the similar figure, again, this little bacon symbol, I call it frying baking symbol, that just means that they are similar. So in similar figures, corresponding vertices are written in the same order. So if I was going to write this, that would be triangle ABC is similar to triangle FGH. So the vertices all need to stay in the same order too, however you write them. I could say it is CAB as long as I say it's similar to triangle HFG. So they just have to be in the same order. Corresponding angles of similar figures have the same measure. So angle C and angle H are going to have the same measure. Angle A and angle F are going to have the same measure. Angle B and angle G are going to have the same measure. The ratios of corresponding sides between similar shapes are equal. So corresponding sides between the similar shapes are going to be equal. That means that the ratio of side length AC to side length CB should be equal to the ratio of side FH and then HG. Also, the ratio of two sides within one shape is equal to the ratio of the corresponding sides within a similar shape. So that's pretty much what we just talked about there. Okay, triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. So they want us to drag the correct angle measures to each triangle and explain our reasoning. Well, angle Y and angle B are corresponding because they're in the same place of the same shape. So angle Y should be 96 degrees. And then angle X and angle A should be the same because they are in the same place and the same shape. So now I'm just figuring out, and the measure of the three angles together should be 180 degrees. So I'm going to come over here. Maybe. Is it going to let me? No. Okay. So the three angles together should equal 180. So I've got 96 and 31. So that's 127 degrees. So then I take 127 and subtract it from 180. So that is 53 is what it should be. So because both of these are the same, let's see if we're right. Yep. The creepy little guy says I'm right. Okay, so we are going to just start here and we're going to start looking through some of these problems just to give you some ideas of what to expect. So list the pairs of corresponding angles and the proportion that relates the corresponding sides for the similar triangles. So triangle QRS and triangle NOP are similar triangles. So they're the same shape, they're just different sizes. So they want us to list the pair of corresponding angles. Well, angle Q is going to correspond to angle N. And angle R is going to correspond with angle O. And angle S is going to correspond with angle P. Okay, now they want me to write the proportion that relates the corresponding sides for the similar triangle. So on the bottom, you see that they have used all of the side lengths for triangle NOP. So then my denominator of this ratio is going to come from triangle QRS. So I'm looking for which side corresponds to side NO. Well, here is NO. So I'm going to look at the triangle up here on top, and I see that it is QR. Side QR corresponds to side NO. And then NP, I see that side QS corresponds to side NP. And then I see that side OP corresponds to side RS. Okay, so suppose that triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ, and angle A is 45 degrees, angle B is 72 degrees. They want me to find the measures of C, and then of course of X, Y, and Z. So here I've got angle A, which is 45. So that means that angle X is also going to be 45 because in similar figures, the corresponding angles are the same. Angle B is 72, which means that angle Y is also going to be 72. So I'm solving for C, and really and truly I'm also solving for Z here. So I'm going to take 72, I'm going to add 45 to that because the measure of all three angles should be 180. So the measure of these two angles together is 117. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract 117 from it. And when I do, I get 3 here and 6. So let's see if 63 is my angle measure here. And it is. So that means that angle X is going to be equal to what angle A was, so that should be 45. Angle Y corresponded to angle B, so it's going to be 72. And then angle Z is going to be the same as angle C, so it is going to be 63. And that's all right. Okay, in this figure, quadrilateral A, B, C, D is similar to quadrilateral E, F, G, and H. So CD, they want us to put this in the simplest form. So okay, so remember, because CD is equal to GH, then these ratios are going to be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so let me show you what I mean real quick. So CD over GH, because their ratios are going to simplify to the same answer. So I can take AB. Ooh, that's a big A, sorry. Ooh, and a big B. Okay. So these ratios are going to reduce to the same answer. So I can take this one right here and put it 12 over 16. And that should reduce to 3 over 4. And let me see if that's, so I've got 3 over 4. And that is it. And I knew that because the ratios of all of the sides should reduce to the same exact number. Okay, triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are similar triangles. That means that the ratios of their corresponding sides, they will reduce to the same thing, and the measure of their angles are the same. So side XY over AB is equal to 4/5. So I know that if, so XY is 4 and AB here is 5 and AC here is 35. And they want to know what is the length of XZ, this number right here. So I'm going to take this ratio that they gave me first, the 4 over 5. And because it is so important to keep units across from one another, I'm going to take the side that I don't know, I'm going to call it X. And I'm going to take the side that I don't know, and I'm going to put it across from my 4 because I got this side from the same triangle as the 4. So these both came from triangles XYZ. Then my 5 came from triangle ABC, so I'm going to put my 35 across from it. And here I'm solving for X, so I'm going to do my baseball bat, my cross multiply, and then I'm going to divide my answer by 5. So I've got 35 times 4. That's 20. And that's 12 plus 2 is 14. So that's 140. And then I'm going to take 140 and I'm going to divide that by 5. That'll go in there twice. So that is 8. So my answer, side XZ, should be 28. And that's right. So that's kind of just a brief overview. You do have homework in this tonight. So your homework over this is going to be out of your textbook. So you need to make sure that you get a homework page from your sub, and then you need to make sure you put your name on it. And you also need to make sure that you put your problem set, which is the number of questions that you are the number of questions that you have plus the number, the page number. So let me find this. Y'all are going to go okay, your homework today is from page 264 in your textbook, and you have problems 1 through 3, 7A, and 8, and then you have page 272 through 273, numbers 1 through 10. Now, make sure the only one you're not doing all parts of is number 7. The rest of the questions, if there's more than one part, you're going to have to do all parts of the problems. So, this, of course, is due tomorrow. If you have questions about it, you have the Math Chat app. All you need to do is raise your hand and ask if you can use your phone to ask me questions, and I don't mind answering them if I can get to it. If not, you may just have to wait until later on this evening when I have gotten back to you and you can check your phone. But again, it's page 264, numbers 1 through 3, 7A and 8, and page 272 and 273, numbers 1 through 10.